Hello and welcome back to Supply Chain Africa News. My name is Wandabu Wanyama and we are still with Mr. Bernard Mukundi. So before the break, we were talking about how most of these African countries, or let's say the low and middle income countries, they are still working with the traditional methods of supply chain. So Mr. Mukundi, how can these countries design a supply chain that will improve the efficiency and service delivery to its citizens?
Thank you so much. First is to understand the business they are in, and to also understand where the inputs come from, that's the production, up to the end on when they get a product and what they are offering. If, for example, it's a service industry, the industry need to think of how do they get the news, for example, if they're in the journalism industry. How do they get to collect that? If it's a product, maybe your telemedicine that you're offering, you have to know how do you prepare that. Then you come to the point of if it's goods, how do the goods get to you? Are you getting raw material that you're converting? Or are you selling finished goods that you want to? So you have to think of that from all those angles in terms of what business are you in? And you have to look at what stage of the business, because there is those who are doing the production, there's those who are doing distributorship, and there's those who are now doing the pricing on the malls or on their shelf. And there are also those who prepare. Like when you go to a hotel, they have already gotten that product from the shelf and now they're putting it ready for you to consume. So it's for the business to understand what kind of area are they operating at.
Before the break, you talked about, it's not a must for you to have a warehouse. And we have seen, like, with the evolution of technology and everything coming on board, we have seen that most people, they buy products from one country, you ship it directly to the ones, let's say, like, how can I put it? To those people who are in need of that product. So at some point, don't you think that this technology will affect, the warehousing systems?
Thank you so much. I think when I look at it, it's not actually the technology affecting the warehousing. It's actually the movement of the business cycle and also the economies. When you look at the cost of production, many countries and many industries then who are home-based there, they would prefer to have less cost. And because of that, many would prefer to get finished product and just they look for the market to sell. So it is actually not the technology that is driving that, is the where we are. Of course, the technology has already played a part in terms of, instead of selling raw product or raw material, you have many people that are converting the raw material to semi-finished product. Then other companies take over from there, they now finish it. If you look at, let's say, innovation, the products are already developed or they're already manufactured. So it's about now the other industries. When you operate an airline, you're not going to start manufacturing the spares. The spares are already manufactured. The owner of the aircraft already designed the product. That's the aircraft, the airframe, the engines, and also come up with the suppliers of the spares. And they even come with a contract on who supplies the wheels, who supplies the oils, who supplies that. So you as an airline, your focus is now to take, I will be moving my passengers from one point to the other. And that's become your core business. So it's about getting your segment, playing within your segment, and delivering the best to your segment.
There has been a mismatch of the available manpower and the technology. Don't you think that will also affect service delivery?
Thank you. It will, definitely, because most of the time the technology will come faster or become a bit quicker than the way we upgrade our manpower. And that's about resource development. Every country and, of course, every employer or every institution should be able to look at how is it developing its staffs or its human resource to be able to adapt to the next technology that might be coming in the shelves. And also the countries should be able to come with curriculum that are actually geared towards getting the best adoption of new technologies. And giving challenges to even those people who are in the industry and also those ones that are already in the training or education sectors, so that by the time they are coming on board, they're not coming to cement the status quo. They are coming with the new technologies to be able to do things differently. There should be always an improvement. And that's my mantra. I believe in life transformation. You must always have something that you're doing different than what you found.
Okay. Yes. You've been in supply chain for over 20 years and you've risen through the ranks. What has been your biggest secret to where you are today?
I don't think it's a secret, but it actually is what should drive every person. Yeah. Integrity is very key. You can't survive or you can't be able to in any industry, I think it's not only supply chain. You need to have some values. You need to have integrity as one of the key things that you must have for you to thrive within supply chain. Without that, then all the other values that you try to say, I'm quick, I have analytical skills, I have good communication skills, good supervision skills, all those are secondary if the integrity is actually punctured. So once you have the integrity, you are good to go. And I think that's what really give me that courage and that energy to continue moving on.
Talking about integrity, then there is corruption. Okay. In both, whether, in public sector, it's more rampant as compared to the private sector. Don't you think that also this affects the quality of services or the quality of the output?
Definitely. Corruption can be defined in different ways. And how I look at it is, how does it erode the end product? If there is shortcomings, whether it's in the manufacturing where you want to substitute the main core material with substitutes or some other semi-finished materials or materials that are not right, definitely will affect. And that become a spiral, it become a rolling cycle. Because when the product become of poor quality from one point, it goes all over. So when it comes down to corruption, I don't think there's any sector that is actually spared by corruption. It's all about how do they react to corruption. The public sector has a way of reacting, the private sector has a way of it. But even human being has a way of reacting to corruption. So it's a fight that we cannot leave it to either public or private or individuals or institutions. It should be a fight that all of us say, what is our value? What is our way of doing things? Because corruption just defined what is our way of doing things. If for me to get a cup of water, I have to give you some bag of potatoes so that you can give me water. That's become a part of it and become part of life. Of course, we are coming from where we used to do barter trade. And I think people might have carried that for you to get a goat, you must bring several chicken. For you to get these, you have to come with arrow to the yams.
That's just a form of trade.
so people have actually almost practiced, almost institutionalized that for you to get anything, you must get it by giving. That's not what I believe in. If you are qualified to do the work...
Just to cut you short, yes. I've had this conversation, and what's the difference between appreciation, token of appreciation, and corruption? If you've done something good for me, let's say you've guided me to win a tender, and then here I am, I tell you, thank you very much, can I take you out for coffee?
You have to know your stamina and what does that appreciation means to you. If appreciation from you says you give back or you give poor product, you give a repeated purchase, a repeated contract to the same person who doesn't have the capacity or who doesn't offer the best, then that's become a problem. So it's about what is the end product, what is the motive that you want to do. If you design that at every end of the process, you must be appreciated, then you are not doing the right thing. And that's why I'm happy, because the training on supply chain is all about appreciation. It's about for you to understand that you are there to offer a service. And that service has a bigger impact. And that's why somebody will say that supply chain can kill or can build. If you keep on taking these, then you are actually killing yourself. And I normally share, and this is a good question that you have asked. I share with the people that I meet, because I coach and mentor the young professionals who are coming up in the supply chain and other fields. And I tell them, the moment you take that, don't think that the supplier is so generous that he wants to give you that appreciation. It's actually part of what you could have negotiated in the cost. So if you could have done good negotiations, put good negotiation skills, you may find you are not getting those kickbacks because you have negotiated to the bone. But if you are just negotiating and leaving a lot of fat in it, then the supplier will have a lot of things to give back and all that. The best thing is to ask the supplier if there is that bit where you want to appreciate. Then invest it in research. Give me better products. Supply it was innovated product and all that.
Having been in supply chain for all that long, probably some people just assume that it has been all rosy. What do you still struggle with?
I still struggle with so many things, but the key thing that I struggle with is honesty. Honesty from all angles. Honesty from user side, you need to be honest. Honesty from supplier side, tell me what's the product. Show me what the product usefulness is. Let me understand it. Let me also get to know that actually you have this challenge on logistics or you have this challenge on delivering. It's good to know that. So once you have been able to clarify with honesty, because majority of people just want to get the order, get the contract, but they are not honest to tell you that actually we have a cash problem. So honesty is one of the things that I can say have been a challenge in my life, and I think I keep on fighting it. We better agree or disagree on anything else, but not on honest.
You talked that you're also a mentor. You mentor young professionals. They probably come with this notion, certain expectations about the profession, like let's say 10% and such like things. How do you deal with that?
Thank you for asking that. It's a common phenomenon that happens because there's lack of good background in terms of people being aware of what supply chain is. And the industry leaders that we have probably had has not been be there to guide the young professionals what it is. And also lacking in our training as well, in terms of the curriculum that we have. How are we trained? Also, when you look at the society, what is more reported? Much of the news you get is about who has done well by stealing from this point to this point, and is glorified by being given an position somewhere. So that can also motivate some of these young professionals. So I normally guide them and tell them, remember you are going into a call. This is a service you are going to be doing, either to the industries you are going to join or to the company you are going to join. And it's going to be part of your life. When you get yourself into market business, it's not only going to be affecting you as an individual, but it's also going to affect your kids and your generations. People will be reading the news of their grandfather who used to be very, very corrupt, and they can see how he was moving from one jail to another. So that's not a story that I would like to read as a professional, personally. Yeah.
I've talked to women in supply chain leadership, and they tell me, you know, there are a couple of challenges they go through, probably as a man. What are your biggest challenges?
I don't think the challenges that we go through in supply chain defines the gender, or actually are selective in gender. It's all about how you position yourself, how you prepare yourself to get into the profession, and also how flexible are you able to adopt into the industry that you are joining. So I think there is no specific that goes to this gender to this. But of course, there are men could be able to, you'll find that probably there are some manual work that need to be done and require men maybe more than ladies. But all of them, I think what I've seen in the current industry practice is quite a lot of many ladies and coming up. Also, gentlemen are also coming up and they're doing well. Yeah.
Today is a Saturday, and I call you for this interview. You are working, and then you are forced even to come with your son. So how do you balance work and family?
Thank you so much. I think life is all about balance. You have to have time for everything. I have time for mentorship. I have time for my family. I have time for work. Sometimes when I work late in the office, people tend to think that I'm not balancing at home. But when I'm at home, I actually give myself 100% of that. Now, what I find very interesting is that having been grown in a big family, then our parents were not able to be with us all over. But at least we could go to the farm together and all that. However, in the profession, these are new areas that we found ourselves in. Our parents are not that, let's say, formally professionals. And therefore, what I find interesting and what I like doing more is cultivating the future of my children by showing them what I do. So we walk around with my son, and when he is available, and we're able to move around and he's able to see. And he's able to say, yeah, indeed, sometimes dad goes hungry. We have spent the whole day, not eaten lunch. We are still driving, we are still moving. And he comes to appreciate that. He's molding that person from the word go so that he can be able to appreciate where the hard things come. They come from having been toiling in all these areas. Okay. Yes. So the balance, I think I have done it. I have worked in industry, international assignments. I've been sent to United America, State of America. I've gone to Italy, I've gone to Rome, I've gone to all these areas that I've worked to. But that has not made me to distance myself from my family. Because I think at the end of the day, what will matter is not what you have done for the industries. It's what did you do? Did you help the God in co-creating by having good society? Yeah.
Any parting shot, or probably any youth who wants to join supply chain?
I would encourage every person who is first willing to give service to join supply chain. And as you join supply chain, also make sure that you are doing it because you want to give an improvement. There is a lot of challenges, but those challenges you can be able to overcome them if yourself you are able to be straight. You're able to make that decision that you want to go and make an impact. The interesting part of supply chain is that it's not static.
Yeah.
I have worked in the different areas. I have done so many projects. All those projects have taught me quite a lot. And the interaction that you interact with all the stakeholders is actually a learning lesson. So it's a very interesting industry. Please, whoever would like to join it, should join it and be able to do that. But I always advise, please have a mentor. Don't join a profession without a mentor, because you might find yourself in very deep seas and you won't be able to know how to swim out of the seas. Thank you.
When you talk about, I think this will be my last question. When you talk about the mentor, what's the criteria for one to use before you choose someone to be your mentor?
Of course, the criteria is that person has to be living what he says and what he mentioned. I find it a bit of a challenge when somebody would be preaching this but doesn't do it in practice. So get that person. There are many people you can check out. You can ask your teachers, your lecturers, your core peers. You can ask them. You can also look at people within your areas and see who are the people that are actually doing that you can be able to emulate them. Okay. Yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bernard, for your time. We really appreciate for the insights that you've given us. And I'm sure some people at home, they have been inspired. Thank you very much for keeping it Supply Chain Africa News. Remember to log on to our website, www.supplychainafricanews.com. We are on LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook as Supply Chain Africa News. Friday, we have a new video on our YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. We have some great content coming your way. Who knows, you might be the lucky winner of our Supply Chain Africa News branded t-shirt. Until next time, my name is Wanda Bwanyama. Thank you.